Hey, what's going on? It's Jave and Andy and a special guest dude, the man, the myth, the legend. You know him from stage and screen, the big, real deal, Mr. Mike Quinn.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Hi, Mike.
Of course, welcome, Mike. Good to see you guys.
Today we're
good to see you, Jave.
Good to see you too. We're doing a review on the San Lotano Oval made by AJ Fernandez. This is a box-pressed Maduro. They make it into a box press that looks kind of flat like that, so it doesn't roll off the tee box, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's very interesting cut,
Yeah.
or roll to that.
Yeah, it's nice. And, you know, it's always good that they don't roll off the tee box.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, there are very few things that go as great with golf as whiskey and a nice cigar.
Whiskey
or
and
a beer,
cigars.
you know, maybe a beer.
Without a doubt.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about, you know, your love of cigars and how long you've been smoking cigars and, you know, and what you do.
Well, you know, when I was 19 years old, I got introduced to my first cigar from a radio guy like yourself.
Okay.
Who would carry them on him. They were little short ones, but on the weekends we would go over to his home and he would do a barbecue, make something nice, get out a nice a glass of wine or some scotch.
Yeah.
And he would light up Cuban cigars. He had these great Cuban cigars, and I became a fan. I mean, I've never been a big cigarette smoker or smoked really anything else, but man, I always loved a good cigar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Playing poker.
Of course.
Relaxing a little bit, it's the best. I just did it. Matter of fact, last week I was with some producers down in Florida, and we sat down at a card table in Tampa, Florida, and at a country club, a golf club, and we lit up cigars, and we played poker for 5 or 6 hours. And
wow,
the most relaxing experience, guys, is to sit, with your buddies, your two dudes or more, and light up a decent cigar and have something nice to drink. It's just the most relaxing thing on the planet, especially when you're busy, and you get busy in your line of work as well.
You know, I thought it was fascinating, having spent a time in the cigar business, to go to some of these cigar events and gatherings where it's a cigar and wine pairings or something like that, and walking in to find the Prudential insurance guy having a booth there. They'd spend $500 on having the Prudential booth, and asking him, why in the hell is Prudential life insurance here? And he telling me, well, we actually have lower rates for cigar smokers than non-cigar smokers because studies have found that just the act of smoking a cigar brings down the blood pressure. It can be good for the cardiovascular in the short term like that. Mm-hmm. And it's an artisanal, handcrafted item here. It's not the same type of tobacco that you're going to get from R.J. Reynolds or in a Marlboro Red Hard.
It's not
well,
chemical.
You're not smoking chemicals, right?
Exactly.
And we're not inhaling anyway, so why not? And it definitely does.
It's what a lot of people don't understand. It's important to know. It's not, like you said, you're not dragging this deep into your lungs. This is for the flavor, for the palate. And then when you pair it off with something as delicious as this.
Oh wait, we have tequila.
Yeah.
This tequila.
Cheers.
Yeah,
cheers, my friend.
And by the way, this is the Costco tequila at $21.99 a bottle.
This is my first sip.
We were talking about it last night.
Caramel.
Last night we were drinking Cazadores Anejo. How good is that?
Oh my God, that is incredible. So that is very similar to what we had last night at our high-end restaurant. This is it's got a very good caramel flavor to it.
Yeah, no, it's we've been buying it. What
God,
edition is this, Jay?
This is 13.
Batch 13?
Batch 13.
So we found that the Costco tequila, actually, there's batch numbers. And we have another friend who's collecting the batches, and we've been tasting them side by side, and they are different.
They are different.
Every batch
we talked about that today, and I couldn't believe when Jave brought that up earlier. I said I had no idea that the batches would be different, and it makes sense. And a lot of people don't realize that there is a different, distinct flavor between.
Well, it's
batches.
a crop, right? And so, as a crop, it's no different, I would imagine, than wine or anything else. We were talking about coffee earlier. Coffee is a crop. So you're going to get different flavors out of the same crop depending on the soil conditions and the weather conditions of the year, right? So I have to imagine it wouldn't be any different for agave, right?
So this cigar review, we're jumping into the first third here. For me personally, a lot of times when you first light up a cigar, the first few puffs can be really, really intense and peppery and bitter and bright. And then it mellows out as it gets into it. For me, personally, I think the draw is just drawing perfectly. It's not too hard. It's not too soft. And it's not too incredibly overpowering these first few couple of drags. What's your impression, Andy?
No, a nice mild cigar. I mean, I'm a mild cigar fan, right? I'm not a fan of the real big monster bold cigars that are so hot you can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like eating a habanero, right? I mean, it's just too overwhelming if you eat it raw. So I'm a fan of the mild cigar, and this one it draws nicely. Like you said, Jay, really easy and kind of mellow, and maybe the first couple of puffs were a little big,
yeah,
you know, because the thing's just getting started. But it's wearing well, right? It's burning evenly.
Yeah, nice even burn.
Yeah.
The tobacco, the ash is a bit on the white side, which is always a nice thing to see. We've got a little bit of a breeze out here, but it's not as windy as being out on a golf course where your cigar will tend to tube a little bit.
Right. No, it's nice out today. It's a beautiful day.
Mike, what's your initial impressions? Are you tasting anything interesting on that?
I am.
You pinpoint?
I feel I get my first drag on it. I get a bit of a sweetness to it. To be honest with you guys,
yeah,
right.
There's a sweetness to it, which pairs good with what we're drinking today, by the way. But you know, the San Lotano, it seems like it's packed well, you know. And a lot of guitars, a lot of cigars, guitars too.
We work in the music
and guitars.
Work
in the music business. You know, a lot of cigars are just packed too tight.
Yeah.
This one's got a good moist to it. So you guys, obviously it's important to keep it in a great humidor and, you know, carry them well. But this one is packed well, which I hate a cigar you have to really drag and pull from. This one is comfortable and easy to smoke.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a very, very nice cigar. So, Mike, you work in the music industry. We just met 10 minutes ago.
Really, it feels like forever.
It does. What do you do?
So I do entertainment management. I have an entertainment management company in Los Angeles, and we manage music artists and actors, a lot of actors and some great music folks, and have a chance to get out on the road a lot. And it's been tough with COVID because there hasn't been a lot of production on the film and TV side.
Yeah.
But fortunately, the music side's been moving, so we've had some artists that have been out on the road, at least not doing the concert stuff, but at least being able to get out and do some promotional things.
Who would you say is your biggest music management artist, or something that blew up beyond your wildest imaginations so far in your illustrious career?
Man, I have had some good ones over the years, but you know, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, who I love guitar.
Wow.
As guitar came out of my mouth earlier
Yeah.
with cigar guitar. But yeah, we signed Kenny Wayne Shepherd when he was 12 years old.
Okay.
Originally, I should say we signed him. We started working with his father. His father was a radio guy, Ken Shepherd, and Ken Senior. Ken had owned a radio station in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we were working with him at the time. And we met his son, and business partner I had at the time. He said, "Hey, we should probably pull this kid in." So we started training him and doing some work with him. But he was just a natural, great skill. Got him signed to Warner Brother Records, and he did really well for us. I really enjoyed that. You know, he still does well. You know, just a great kid and a great adult now.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's probably one of my favorites, just because I love guitar. He's an incredible guitarist, and there's nothing cooler, folks, than walking into a guitar center anywhere in the United States and seeing his picture outside on the outside of the guitar center. So that's always
You're all,
nice.
hey, that's my guy.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so some good people.
Who else? What are some of the other highlights if you wanted to name drop? And obviously you've got some new guys too, which we can talk about here in the video.
Sure. You know, a lot of people have love and hate for Tom Sizemore. I work with Tom. Tom is one of my great clients. He works a lot. He's probably one of the busiest clients out of everybody else, simply because he is willing to do and take on independent roles that a lot of artists and a lot of actors won't take on. So, and he's willing to travel. So he'll travel outside of California and take the time off to go shoot for a few months on set in Santa Fe, New Mexico, or Beaumont, Texas, wherever they're shooting now that you can't normally shoot film. Because of COVID-19. So he's a great guy to work with. I love him. He's great with my kids. He's just a good guy. He has his ups and downs, and he's had his struggles with drugs and alcohol over the years. But he's up and down. But he always maintains himself and comes back and does great things. I mean, this is a guy from Saving Private Ryan. I mean,
yeah.
He was a co-star with Tom Hanks, and just a good group of people. And I really enjoy hanging out with him. He's a good guy.
Now you have,
and he likes cigars.
And he likes
cigars.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
Is he is he the biggest name cigar smoker that you represent, or who else likes cigars of the celebrities that we may not know or see?
I spent a lot of time with Charlie Sheen. Charlie loves his cigars.
Oh,
too.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got a beautiful backyard up in Mulholland.
Do you have any idea what Charlie's cigar of choice is?
Good ones. He's a top-notch guy. He's definitely a top-notch guy. But
is he a challenging person to manage, or does Charlie always have a vision for what his brand is, and does he always try and push the boundaries of the brand?
Charlie's, first of all, he's a great guy, and he has a great understanding on how to keep the brand alive.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. He's a talented individual. A lot of people.
And he's a great actor. I mean,
oh man, he's
no doubt about it.
He's funny as hell.
The time I've spent with him, it's always been amazing. He's got some cool things that a lot of people don't know. He's got a pretty much photographic memory. He can memorize a script in no time, flat. I sat with him at his house one day, and I think he's watching Star Wars, and he was reciting lines from Star Wars. I mean, it can be annoying at times, but he knows every single line from every movie he sits down.
Wow!
So having a guy, sitting down with a guy who memorizes those type of things, and his ex-wife is she lives a couple of blocks from him. She's wonderful, and we both adopted some dogs, some brindles. I have a brindle dog named Khaleesi that we adopted, and she's got a brindle dog that she adopted about the same time. So we have some common dog, lover skills that we put into play to take care of some animals that needed shelter and a home. So, but yeah, he's a great guy. He's a good guy. Loves his kids. Just a good individual. So yeah, good guy. Spent a lot of time with him on his plane. He enjoys a good drink too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, every now and then.
I don't know. Yeah, sounds cool.
But he's a wonderful guy. Charlie is the type of guy that if he is having, and I told you this the other day, Charlie's the type of guy, if he's having a filet mignon, you're going to have a filet mignon with him. If he's going to buy a shirt, he's going to buy one for you. Just a sweetheart of a guy. Yeah. I really love him to death. He's a good dude.
That's cool.
How's it smoking for you now, Jave?
The burn is it's not too hot. As far as the razor thin ash line here, I am getting a little bit of a dip here and there. It's nothing too concerning at this point. It's probably just from the outside breeze here. But tasting great. It's developing nicely. I don't think it's mellowed out a hell of a lot from the first few puffs.
Don't worry about it.
I dropped some ash on the
on
set. You can't drop ash.
Dang it!
Dropping ash on the set.
Can't do. Oh wait, it's not a set. It's our backyard. Right. Isn't that the beautiful thing?
I mean, you got all the lights set up properly.
We have lights. We normally have shade sails.
Yeah,
but it's a little early in the season.
Yeah. We got all the the production assistants here today.
Yeah.
Pretty well done production here, guys.
We try.
You guys do well.
We do our best.
And it's relaxing.
I'm getting a little creaminess from this right now. The pepper is kind of overpowering the cream, and there's a little fresh cut hay in there. It's not overpoweringly grassy. I had a cigar last week from Costa Rica that a mutual friend of ours brought over, and I felt so bad for the guy because he backpacked it all the way from Costa Rica, this and a couple of fake Cuban Cohibas, and it was just like smoking old hay that had been sitting out in the yard for a year and a half.
Now, how much old hay have you smoked?
Well, it's okay.
I'm just curious.
A lot of times when you taste something, it tastes like something else might smell, right? Because most of your taste buds are up here anyways,
right.
So it tasted like old hay smells, but not in a positive light.
You know what I'm getting from this, Jave, is that old book smell that you like to call so often. It's funny, I just got when you talked about olfactory, the nose and
leathery,
kind of leathery.
And the sweetness of this Añejo tequila really cuts that and brings out the creaminess, I think. Of
if you have a Costco in your neighborhood, oh my gosh, go down and get their Añejo tequila. Again, like $21.99 a bottle.
You can see some of the reviews. We'll put the link up here.
I want to say thank you to Costco for sponsoring us.
Costco.
Just amazing. Guys, I detect, and maybe it's with the caramel from the drink, but I get a bit of a coffee. And I told you I was a big coffee guy, but I do get a little bit of a coffee flavor coming through too.
Okay. Yeah.
It's that robust, that dark.
I might get that coffee.
Slight, after taste.
Okay.
Which is good.
I know. Yeah, I drink a little coffee.
Yeah, yeah, you do. And roast some too.
Two cups a day. 2 cups a day is all I do. I'm not a maniac about it.
I'm a 7 venti a day guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh God, I love it. I love the coffee.
Now, Andy, you're limited on what you can drink because you're a solo kidney.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you're limited
As
on
far
what
as
you
the
should
booze I can
drink.
drink.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Booze. That's what
Is
I'm
Solo
talking about,
Kidney
booze.
the name of his band?
No,
That's a great name.
I don't. Hey,
Kidney
wait.
killers.
We're going to trademark that, and you got to pay us if you want to use it.
Yeah, by the time this airs, guys, this will be
Solo
trademarked.
kidney.
Solo Kidney.
Yeah, no, I only have one kidney. So when it comes to liquor that I can drink, tequila, because it's not grain based, is one of the.
Okay.
I drink a lot of wine.
If it
Too much
wasn't,
wine.
if it wasn't about having the one kidney, what's your favorite spirit to pair with a cigar?
Tequila.
Tequila.
It's still
Okay.
tequila.
Still tequila.
And you know what it is? I think, when you talk about, I don't know, bourbon has that kind of oaky, most of the bourbons, that we're
Vanilla
going to drink,
flavor to
kind of
it.
oaky vanilla, and I think that maybe that competes with this. I think tequila, for me, complements a cigar more than competes with a cigar.
Yeah, for me, I tend to agree with you. It brings out a certain earthiness that I don't get just on the cigar alone or just on the tequila alone, but together it brings out a certain earthiness on the palate. How about
Right.
you, Mike?
It's a different feel. For me, it's like, it's like, what car are we driving today? So if we're having a bourbon with a cigar or we're having a scotch,
Scotch?
it's just, this is a different ride. I mean, it's a completely different ride today having it with this tequila.
Well, and the Scotch is going to bring a smoke flavor to me, and I'm not a Scotch fan because of that. I'm not a fan of smoky
Over
liquor.
smoked, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of smoky liquor, and
Yep.
so when I've had Scotch with a cigar, it's like it's over smoked. It's like I was just talking about I've got a bottle of mezcal a buddy brought over last night, and we had it with smoked pork chops. And
smoke overload.
and it was
Yeah.
smoke on top of smoke, and it just wasn't.
I'm the smoke. I love smoke.
Right.
I'm the guy that will go, hey, I want to go to the barbecue place. Like James, the Texas boy. I love the Texas barbecue because they use a lot of mesquite, a lot of heavy smoke in the meat, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
So for me, a scotch, a heavier smoked scotch with a cigar, it works well for me.
Complements it.
And some people love that flavor, obviously, but and others do not. But like I said, we're driving a different vehicle today, and it's a great experience. And that's what I think everybody needs to understand. It's about the experience.
Yeah.
And this is definitely, with this tequila from Costco, by the way, our sponsor for today. Costco, you can reach us at
TwoDudesReviews.com.
I'm serious. If Costco's watching, they got to understand this is a great tequila, and we will certainly be using it again.
We use it on a regular basis.
Or does it use us? I guess it depends on where you're at in the bottle.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely, and how many of them we have.
And how many you
Right.
have.
But I'm not a huge añejo fan. Like I tend to drink Blanco tequila most often because I like the crisp, clean flavor of Blanco.
Yeah.
But this Costco añejo is
And I normally I'm the guy that will go, I'll just give me something platinum, give me the cleaner, the better. But last night we were talking, we started on the darker tequila.
Yeah, it was the Allison. What was that tequila we were drinking last night? It was the other movie stars tequila.
Amigos.
Casamigos.
Casamigos.
Casamigos
Oh, yeah,
and Nejo, which was delicious.
What the heck is he?
I had done.
Is he
Julio.
still alive? That guy?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just kidding.
Allison, he was one of the sexiest men alive. What was his name?
What was his name?
Casamigos. Come on, gosh, dang it.
It's funny that we're trying to remember. We
He's
can't.
married to that Italian
It was good tequila.
girl.
Married to the Italian bird, the Italian attorney,
Yes.
George Clooney. That's
George
it.
Clooney. That's
Hey,
who it is.
George. He's not watching our video, but if he did,
So
we talked about your tequila.
shifting-
Wait. Well, I need a kickback for talking about that Casamigos tequila.
You can reach us again at www.com.
TwoDudesReviews.com.
DOODS.
2 O's, 1D.
Talking about him, let's go back to some of the celebrity stuff. You had mentioned you work with Michael Lohan. How did that relationship come together, and what exactly do you do to help him out? Tell me about his artistic endeavors. Obviously, everybody knows his daughter Lindsay very, very well, and and she has had, like everybody else who comes to meteoric, rise of fame, has had ups and downs. It can be difficult to deal in a world like
Absolutely.
that. So tell me about Michael and your working relationship with Michael.
Michael Lohan, another great guy, and I tend to, I surround myself by. It seems like people that need other people, that have gone through their ups and downs, and maybe because I think I'm a fixer, or maybe I'm a Pisces with a Pisces moon. If anybody understands astrology, and I just tend to draw. They tend to be drawn towards me, and Michael and I have had a great relationship for a long, long time, and we did something recently in Washington D.C. He does a lot of philanthropy. He's owned a lot of rehab facilities around the country.
Wow, very cool.
He's got a great place in Houston, Texas. He just opened up, and he bought a house there as well. He's back in Florida today, as a matter of fact. But he's got a great house there. And Lindsay was on the phone with us a dozen times. We were at iHeart. We have a weekly radio show he does at iHeartRadio out of Houston, Texas, that goes out. And I did a show with him last week, and it was amazing. It's just a great guy. But he's a super individual. He's a guy that cares about other humans. And his daughter is very close to him. I call him the Dadinger, because he's the guy, that kind of, on one side kind of handles the dad side, but he also handles some management side to keep her focused and stuff. She lives in Greece.
Wow.
She's a beautiful individual. She's grown up, and she's been sober, like we talked about on the radio program last week. By the grace of God, she's kept herself sober for the last 5 years. She's done very well.
Very good.
Yeah, so he's a good guy, and he enjoys helping other people. Tom Sizemore, we talked about a little while ago, and I could talk about this openly. Tom has gone through his ups and downs. So Tom had a bad stint last year, as people may know, because he was arrested for it. But his drug abuse, it got to a point where Michael said, I'm going to get him help. Whatever he needs, I'm going to be there for him. And I'm opening up my facilities and my resources to anything he needs. And Michael has always been there for him and a lot of other celebrities, to be honest with you. So people.
COVID affected, I would imagine, everyone in the entertainment industry.
Tremendous.
And you know what? It's interesting because I do see a lot of new stuff coming out from Amazon and from a lot of houses. Was that stuff all done before COVID, and now it's being released?
It was. A lot of stuff was in production prior to COVID-19 really going, full force and shutting things down. And California, as you know, has been completely shut down. The film and television industry was almost at a standstill. But fortunately, there's a lot of other great states across the country. I never thought I was going to be a big fan of the governor of Texas, but, he's kept the state open.
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to be a fan of the governor of Florida, but my God, they've kept the economies going. Yes. And again, I never thought I'd be a fan, but I love what they've been able to do to keep the economy going, where in the state I live in, down in Los Angeles, we have about a third of our restaurants who are out of business today, and a lot of people that aren't working in the film and music industry because things were just completely brought to a close. And look, I understand COVID-19, and I understand how people can be scared, but we also have to kind of grab the bull by the horns and say, we know we got to be safe, so let's just make it safer instead of shutting everything down completely. That's not a political statement. It's just an honest statement, because it's affected my pocketbook. It's affected your pocketbook. It's affected your pocket. It's affected a lot of people's pocketbooks. So there's got to be a better way in the future. If this ever happens again, we see it getting better now, but in the future we have to learn from this. And I think some of the states that have now opened up, they've made some great progress and kept businesses alive because of their stick-to-itiveness to strongly say we're going to try to keep our economies alive and keep people safe at the same time. And there is a balance to it, and I think it can be done. So.
I like that word, state-to-itiveness.
Stick-to-itiveness. That's a great term, Mike. I mean, I thought about breaking out I've got some masks that, smoking masks that have a hole right here so you can smoke a cigar. But I thought that might look a little ridiculous. And quite honestly, when I wear that thing, it goes over the nose and my glasses fog up and I can't see a goddamn thing.
Sure.
So, so here we are, and we're maskless because we're all safe.
Can we talk about herd immunity?
No. We can't talk about herd immunity. There's only 5 of us here, and that's not a herd, okay? It's a gaggle or something like that.
I think a gaggle is over 12, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know what the official term is
You're not
of what a gaggle is.
As we're approaching the third of the cigar here, I just took off the ring, And notice there's a really cool AJ Fernandez signature.
Oh wow!
On the back of the ring here, and
is that worth money?
I'll bring that. No, it's not worth anything.
AJ Hernandez.
But it's a nice technique that a lot of the.
Wait a minute. Is this like Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory?
If you have the
do you only have a signature?
The golden signature.
Because I don't have a signature.
Oh my gosh!
No, I'm kidding. I have a signature. I thought he won $1 million.
No, we didn't. Dang it.
You know, yeah, you were mentioning.
That's a great ad, by the way. I just want to say, it's for them to add on a signature on the inside. Just shows the care that San Lotano has done with these oval cigars. These are just amazing guys.
Does his hand get tired from signing all of them? Because I know
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
You know, the Partagas Serie D #4, in our opinion, the greatest Cuban cigar ever made.
My favorite cigar.
They always
is which one? Wait a minute. Say that.
Partagas Serie D #4.
Partagas Serie D #4.
Yes.
And where can I get those?
Well,
Cuba.
they're from Cuba. We could tell you, but we can't tell
I
you
understand.
on film.
We'll have to talk
Yes,
off.
we can't tell you. Yes,
Well,
yes.
next time I'm in Florida, I'll make a little trip over there. It's only a 90-minute boat ride. Yeah. In a canoe.
In a canoe.
They always have a red number on the inside of their band here, and it's one of the many things that you can look at when you're trying to tell a counterfeit from a real. And and this is nicely embossed. There's been a nice press stamp embossing. You don't have like Cohiba does, where you've got the rainbow. What's that called? Where it's three-dimensional. You can
the hologram.
Hologram.
The hologram.
There's no holograms on this, which you don't really need for a domestic, San Lotano, but a very nice label, elegantly done.
Very elegant.
And as we go into the well, I don't know, is it second or third, whatever it is, where we're at right now, about halfway through the cigar. And a lot of times the cigar will get real hot and real spicy, and this one is not. It's maintaining kind of that smooth, mellow kind of flavor, which is, again, my preference in a cigar.
This is a very consistent taste all the way through so far right now. And I got a little bit of a run over here, but for the most part, the ash is nice and bright white. It's incredibly tight. I'm not getting any flaking on the side. It's holding together very, very well. There's a little bit of a pitch in that ash where it's leaning slightly to the left, now to the right, now to the left.
And you can usually tell, care in a great cigar. Mm-hmm. You can see in the ash. You see how it's been rolled.
Yeah.
So there's some care in this process, guys, in these San Latinos.
The seams are almost invisible. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Pretty
you
much,
can tell a bit of the shade difference in through this one seam here, but very, very nice construction.
Mm-hmm. That's because they lick them every Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's something else.
It's basically a corn syrup.
Is that what they use?
That they use to to put on the leaf when they're doing the outer.
No, it's not high fructose corn syrup, is it?
It's a homemade type of corn syrup.
It's homemade corn syrup.
We'll call it a corny sugar water.
Mm-hmm.
Corny sugar.
Yeah, it's a mild sugar water. These. That's probably where I'm getting that sweetness from.
Could be.
Or the tobacco.
Yeah.
These have been sitting in my humidor, by the way, for about 6 months. So whenever you get a new order of cigars in, it's important to know when they were boxed, when they were rolled. And store them in your humidor for at least a month, maybe 6 weeks before you smoke one. The longer you can let them sit, the better. And the reason why is sometimes there will still be some ammonia that's trapped in the tobacco leaves that when they're going through the aging process and turning over the big, bundles of tobacco leaves, they're trying to get, the aging process is really just trying to remove all the ammonia, which is what's going to give you that shitty taste the next morning that is going to last with you for 3 days. And the less ammonia you have, the less bitter you're going to have, the less of that nasty leftover.
Well, and that ammonia is a part of the fermentation process then of the cigar, of the tobacco as it sits in that pile.
Yeah. Too much of it, it sits on the tongue, it's too heavy.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
I'm not the big cigar aficionados that you guys are, but
we're not aficionados. We don't know shit.
Oh, come on now.
We're talking about it.
Okay, so two dudes. I got to ask. So I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
This has been my biggest question. I've asked this of almost every cigar smoker I sit down with, whether we're playing poker in Tampa or wherever we may be. What do you prefer? Is it better to cut or to plug the tip before you smoke?
That's a great question, and it really depends upon the cigar you're smoking in a lot of regards. The bigger and bolder the cigar is, the more you're going to want to have a straight cut, which is what this is here. And the reason why is with a punch, the punch will tend to capture more of the tars and some of the bitterness that's in the tobacco leaf around that circle of the punch. It'll trap some of that, so your tongue on the end of it will get really, really bitter, and it'll be tough to smoke after a while. So if you're smoking a mild cigar, a punch is fine. If you're smoking a bigger cigar, these are Maduros. I would consider these more on the medium to medium strong side. It's still a smooth cigar, but medium.
You could punch this one. A lot of times I've had a torpedo, right, which is that kind of a oblong shape, and they'll do a
V cut.
Well, you could do a V cut, but also kind of an angled straight cut. And that's one way they've done that. Or you could do the V cut. I like as well. I just didn't have my V cutter close by. So. And
for some people, it's just a personal preference. You know, if you cut too much on a straight cut like this, you could run into the challenge of cutting off the second cap.
You cut the cap, yeah.
If you cut the cap, then the thing's going to unravel on you, and it's going to smoke like crap. So you have to know what you're doing when it comes to cutting off.
And you can see the line too. If you look at a cigar, right? So there's the cap here. So there's the cap on the very end, and there's a cap up a little bit. And I just try and cut that end cap off and leave a little that one wrap there that is that cap.
So if you were going to grade my cut today from 1 to 5, 5 being a great cut, and
I would say that's a solid 4, 4.5. I mean, you did a great job there.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I didn't go too far down in there.
Not that I can tell.
All right, good.
Again, I don't know anything.
I mean, is it drawing fine for you?
It's drawing perfectly.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes you'll cut just a little bit off, and it's not drawn good enough. You take a bigger cut, and all of a sudden it draws great.
I try and go by, obviously by feel, but I also want to make sure when I'm cutting it that I, like you said, not going too deep, and that I can still see a nice tight bind in the tip.
There you go.
So yeah, it draws well this way, guys.
I'm not sure what the blend
Mike,
is.
You got it, dude. You need to come and do all of our videos with us.
Okay, so to finish this off, what do you choose? The chopper overall, or a punch?
On a cigar like this, I would have done a V cut if I had found my V cut.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
I like a V cut.
And for me, if I'm smoking a torpedo, a perfecto, which points at the end, I use a V cut because it really does a nice job on giving you a nice tender area. I don't chew a lot on the end of the cigar,
right?
But for me, it's a nice mouthfeel to have a V cut.
God, my Uncle Gene would have like a nub like this, even after it was out. He would chew that thing. It would just be this mash of tobacco.
So nasty.
Love you, Uncle Gene.
Oh man. This is for you, buddy.
Yeah, Uncle Gene.
Oh, Uncle Gene.
Yeah. Hey, unfortunately, he was gone long before I started smoking cigars. It would have been fun now. I remember my Uncle Gene who would just have that. It was like, he was an old California cowboy, right, from Central California. My family is from Central California, and he would just he was that guy that had like legs that were, his legs didn't go down, they went around. He spent his whole life on a horse, Yes. And Uncle Gene was just, when I think about cigars, I think about Uncle Gene.
Oh man, that's great. My family's from, I was born in Salinas, California.
Oh, okay.
A lot of my family, my grandfather, years lived in Watsonville, and he smoked a cigar the same way. He'd draw it off the side, and it was a very moist looking cigar by the time he was done. And then the rest of it he'd kind of chew up, and he didn't waste a bit. And he always taught me, he's like, look, Mike, smoke it down. It'll get better as it goes. The tobacco will heat up, and a lot of people start tossing it when it gets a little bit less than this. I don't. I'll smoke these things down to the nub here because
you need a roach clip to finish the end of it.
Exactly. Just like LA, baby. No, I would. I enjoy the heat coming through towards that tip because it changes up the flavor.
Yeah, it does.
Once you get to that end, so that heat kind of cooks. I want to say, or brings out the flavor, the caramelization.
Gets big.
It gets very
really big in the at the end of the third. I mean, when you're back down to that nub,
absolutely.
Now that's a big, bold, spicy cigar, regardless of what it was all the way up to that point.
Yes, and that's where I find myself being the most relaxed. when I get to that end, I'm going, guys, I've had a great night.
Yeah.
That's that nicotine buzz, dude.
Yes, it's wonderful.
That too, yeah.
It's a clean, like you said, this is not the chemicals you get from, other types of smokes, whether it's a cigarette or whatever. These are clean. They're not loaded down with chemicals in any way whatsoever. These guys especially, they've done a great job.
Yeah.
These are just great.
San Lotano.
San Lotano.
If you're not familiar with the website, cigarbid.com, another thing that maybe we should look to see if they want to sponsor some of these cigar review videos, cigarbid.com, an excellent website. That's where I've purchased these from. And they've got several different types of ovals that are up there. I prefer the Maduros, but they've got some natural Connecticut shade wrapper and some other good stuff. But AJ Fernandez, he's got the old world cigars. He's got a very impressive line, but his ovals have always consistently been some of my favorite. Mike, I appreciate you jumping in to take part in the review here today.
Absolutely, guys.
You have a very colorful past, and before we wrap this thing up, I'm kind of curious to throw a little shout out to a brand new project you're working on, and you have a great video that features a friend of yours, Jose Canseco.
And client. Yes.
So he is a client.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
Tell me about Jose. He seems like an interesting guy.
Jose,
an intimidating fellow for sure.
So he's 6'4". He's a 300-pound guy, 280 somewhere. He's just a big, but he's another. Again, I love surrounding myself with great people. He's just a good guy, down to earth. He bought a house in Vegas not so long ago, and he's been there for a bit. But we shot a music video with a rock band that I produced. And
the band is called Core, by the way. I will put a link for their video up here on one of the cards.
Yep, up there. Great song. We shot a music video called Save Me. The track is called Save Me. And, a lot of people kind of thought it was a song based around the pandemic. And the band, we were working in the studio, on and off while this, the pandemic's been going on. But we named some of the versions. The radio version, we have the Dr. Fauci version because it's a clean version. That's the radio edit. And then we have a live version that we do that we call the vaccine version. But it's a great rock band, solid. If you like Adelaide It's Way, the lead guitarist from the rock band Adelaide It's Way, who's from Las Vegas, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a great Las Vegas boy.
We know Rick, and we know.
Oh, that's great. Oh my
God.
God. So we have Chris Cigar, who's in the lead guitarist in the band, and he's, by the way, one of the top 10 guitarists on the planet. Just an incredible guy. But he's our lead guitarist in the band, and a gentleman named CJ, who is our CJ Bills, who is our lead singer, who also plays lead guitar on this particular track. The song was written about the lead guitarist who had an issue with the girl, so this is how the song came about. He left the band for a hot moment, came back in a hot second. So the record's been doing well. It's on about 142, 44 stations. 80 in the United States and a number across the world. And
you're just starting. You're
just starting
at the beginning right now, and all the hallmarks of a great rock music video. Right, the band is playing on the top of a Las Vegas high-rise hotel with helicopters swirling around. There's the gangster, there's a burial, there's a hot chick, and a rock band playing.
Yes, and
what more could you ask for?
So Jose Canseco plays a gangster. A mobster gangster guy. I shouldn't say gangster. He's a mobster that's looking for some jewels. And we have a beautiful supermodel we hired that came in and played
Who is she?
A naked role. You'll love her. She's a new actress. Naked scene that's very clean, by the way.
It's a clean naked scene.
It's a clean naked scene.
Okay, good.
She's wearing a bodysuit, but it looks amazing in the video. She has to break down some barriers to get in, and it's a Bonnie and Clyde story that goes along. It was we have a great director from MTV. He's done, I don't know, over 100+ music videos for MTV. His name's Bruce Hamer Coleman, and Bruce is a great guy. I've worked with him quite a bit now, and he's a gem. He's one of my favorite directors now.
So you're still not going to give up the cell phone number for the hot chick, huh?
Yes, it's 555.
555.
Man, I got to tell you, it was a close set when we shot that scene.
I'm sure.
And I had security guards, and we shut down a big chunk of the hotel in downtown. We were in downtown.
What was the hotel in Vegas?
We were at the Plaza, Plaza Hotel.
Yeah, okay.
They were great to us there, so thank you, Plaza Hotel. We worked out a great deal with them, so we were able to shut down. And we came in, shot the video, and then right after that, The Weeknd apparently loved what we did there. So he came in and shot a music video in and around the Plaza Hotel and used some of the same areas. So he's got a video out that kind of features some scenes from the Plaza Hotel and that area downtown. But just a great guy. Bruce, the director, is incredible. The band Core, please check them out. Core Vivo on television. You can see them on Vivo Networks. They're running now on television on MTVU, and also if you go to YouTube, just type in Core Vivo or go to Silverstone Records, and you can check them out, guys.
Yeah, Silverstone Records. Cool. We'll throw that link in as well.
Okay, and can I throw out my Instagram, by the way?
You can.
Of course.
Guys, anything you need, by all means. My Instagram is very simple. My name on Instagram is Mighty Mike Quinn. It's not Jave the Wave, but it's Mighty Mike Quinn. That's my old broadcast name. So, yeah, by all means, hit me up on Instagram. I'm on there a lot. I get a lot of great feedback.
And most of the pictures that he posts up on Instagram are pictures of his dog, food, and then the hot chick from the video.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Her phone number is on the Instagram if you want to find it. It's right there.
It
Mighty
is.
Mike Quinn.
It is.
Anyways, third, this thing is smoking fantastic. Like I say, I got a little bit of a run here. I suspect it's from the breeze. Both of you guys have got great
this one
smokes there.
It's starting to run a little bit now. But
I need another tequila. We're going to wrap this one up. I'm Jave. He's Andy.
I'm Mighty Mike.
Mike Quinn. It's
Guys,
Doods Reviews.
Enjoyed it. We'll see you soon.